Welcome back, folks, to World of Warships Legends. I'm Soopa-Dave, and today we are going to be taking a look at the new Pan-European line, the gunboat line. I would assume that's what most people are going to call it. That's what I'm going to call it. But this is the Turkish Muavenet, and I'm pretty sure I'm not pronouncing that right, but that's okay. You're not here for that. Now, because this is the first ship in this line, we are going to take a quick look at things. You can see this is the line here. And as you can see here, the branch info, as you can see, contesting destroyers, and man, these things are fun so far. Advantage of this line: rapid firing main guns, improved HE pen, which is huge, by the way, guys. So normal HE is 1/6 of your gun size that you can penetrate. These are 1/4, so it's very good for that. And you get a radar later in the line. We'll talk about that later. And a good mobility, improved acceleration. I actually don't feel like the acceleration's super improved, but that's just me. Disadvantages: limited torpedo capability, 100% true. These are not torp boats by any means. No AP shells and poor maneuverability. It said excellent mobility, but it's also bad maneuver. Okay, we'll go with that game. With that being said, here, let's go take a look at commanders, because this is the first one in the line. We will talk about multiple commanders here. First of all, I'm using Swirsky. If you don't have Swirsky, you could use Stig Eriksson, and if you want, that's what I'm using for him on that build. And if you are brand new, you could use the Hellrich here, and he seems to be solid with these traits. Now, for my commander build here, guys, we are using. Now, everybody plays differently, okay? That's one thing I always say in these videos. My play style is a very spot for my team, shoot when I can and it makes sense, but I am more worried about getting rid of other destroyers and cap control. That's my first priority, along with spotting with teammates. It is not to rack up damage. I have teammates that can do that if I spot properly for them. So, for my inspirations, I'm using Eric Bay and Deng Saichang. So it helps with, I know that's a lot of detectability on a build, but man, does it help repeatedly. In my playstyle, having better detectability. In fact, I believe in the video I already have for one of these two ships that start off with, you're going to see it play a big factor, and it does a lot for me. Obviously, Swirsky's base trait is hide and seek. And we are using Observant Rage. Look at me now. Perceptive. You could use Twist and Track on this one to get that gun to turn around quick enough. But honestly, for the most part, I would rather take Perceptive, but I totally understand that. Early in this line, we'll be using Smoke on the Water. Later on, when we get the radars, we will be using Fox Flare, and is our legendary perk Unstoppable. So let's go ahead and take a look here at our, as you can see, our modifications. We are using traverse speed to get the traverse up and helped it. Honestly, you could use dispersion, but because you want to set fires on this thing, dispersion isn't the end all be all in my opinion. I'd rather have the guns be where I want them to be. For your upgrades in the order I would do them: targeting systems to help your firing range, the hull for extra health, and the artillery to get the reload time down a little bit. With that being said here, guys, let's talk about the consumables. You get two pretty solid smokes. Now, they're not American smokes, but they're pretty good. And I really what helps separate this line from the other Pan-Europe line, in my opinion, is the smokes. And the engine boost consumable, you could take defensive AA. This thing doesn't really have much, but honestly, the engine boost isn't really that great either. So whatever your playstyle leans into. And for our specs, 11.9 health, that is slightly above average or about average. And artillery, it does have 4 120s. They reload in 5.2 seconds with a 9.8 firing range. Now, you only have 8G with this thing, but that's okay because with the quarter pen and the ability to set fires, that's all you would pretty much want to use in this thing. The way these things can shell out damage if you want them to. And you can see the 180 turn time. I think by default it's like 15 or 16, but we have it down to 12.5 with our upgrade or a modification. Torpedoes, this is a major downside to the ship. You really don't have much here. They're only 6 kilometers and they only do 6,300 damage. You only have 4 of them. So it's not, this is not a torp boat, and you can use them when you need to. They're kind of more defensive in nature for me, or throwing them into smoke, or using them to set fire. You know, if you can get damage cons, that's one big thing I want to mention early on with this line is getting damage cons. If you are, you know, if you are in your smoke, you're doing stuff, get fires, get floods. That will help if you are going that route or if you have the opportunity to. AA defense, it has none. Let's be honest, guys. It's that one guy on the back of the ship with a revolver just trying to take down planes. It's not good. Maneuverability, solid speed, solid turning circle. I will say I don't necessarily feel like the acceleration's the best on this ship. But that could be just me. And concealment, you can see we're way down at 4.7, and that can be very handy. Statistics, you can see I've only played 3 matches in this ship. It's tier 4. I don't want to sit down here at tier 4 and rough up new players if I can help it, right? So enough to get a feel for the ship and then move on from there. The one thing I will say about the guns, now that I'm thinking about it, they're a little bit on the lobbier side too, guys. So hitting stuff at a little bit of range can be hard if you're trying to hit a destroyer at the far end of your range. Here you go, though, really quick. But as you can see from my average damage, I am not a player that only damage hunts and destroyers. I am a supportive destroyer, if that makes sense. I find the other destroyer, I try to win the fight and get cap control. Then from on there, it's spotting, and if I have the opportunity to do damage, I'll do it. But I'm more about helping my teammates. You have teammates, you might as well use them. You can see the main gun accuracy is good if you can get it. The shells to, if you predict how lobby the shells are. So with that being said, for the armor, it's a destroyer. It has no armor. All right, let's be honest. None of them really do. But so try to avoid taking shots when at all possible, guys. As we start the match, it's disclaimer time. This is a beginner's video meant to help people new to the ship or new to the game. This is not meant for professional gamers that know everything there is to know about everything in the universe. There are multiple ways to play and build this ship, and I am an above average player. Not the world's best. I make mistakes. You may see one in this match. You didn't come here for pronunciations. I'm as good as anybody at slaughtering beautiful languages all the time. Now, we are bottom tier here on the ring, and the ring is the one map I would probably say, you know, don't run into the middle like an idiot, okay? You just lose a lot of health most of the time. That being said, we are gonna go ahead and move over to the right and try to help. But like I said, normally you want to go straight forward, but this map in particular is a death sentence. This and Two Brothers, if you go into the middle right away, and if you're not careful, this map is worse in my opinion than Two Brothers because they can come at all angles. That being said, I want to say kudos to one teammate. We're going to have a teammate on our team that is going to do some pretty awesome stuff, and he's going to be a really good teammate. And that's the Leon. I think his name is Deaton. So if you do watch this, man, really nice game, and it was awesome. Okay, so what we're doing, we know it's contested. We know right where he's at, and that's why we have the perk to know where people are, right? The perceptive perk, and that is so important to have. Right, so I looked over to see if he was smoking up. He wasn't, so we go ahead and smoke up. Now, he apparently did the same thing because he smoked up at the same time as me. That's okay. You can see the difference between my shells and his, though. Now that we're a little bit farther out at range, mine is starting to lob. His are a little bit more accurate, so, or straightforward. A little easier to hit a target with. Just so you guys can kind of see that right in that scenario there, that these are pretty lobby shells compared to a normal destroyer. Now, again, we know where the other destroyer is because we have perceptive. We can see that he's over on that side of the cap. That's what that little shaded half circle is. We're going to throw torps out there. And also, you can see we're located again, so we know there is a destroyer nearby. And we were trying to spot for our team, and you can see Leon had the exact scenario. That's what he wanted to do as well, so we're gonna go ahead, pop back in, and actually Leon did the same. So right away I knew he was a solid player because we were thinking exactly the same. So I asked him for intelligence, and you can see I look back over, and you can see him start to move out to go ahead and spot. This is what teammates are for. Now, I don't normally recommend having multiple destroyers on one side, but other cap is doing okay, and clearly most of the team is over here. And you know, there was 3 destroyers per team, so sometimes that's going to happen. Now, normally you won't really want to go and chase a destroyer teammate around the map, but you can see this is going to pay off for us because, again, we finally get a perma-fire on that guy, and then he gets absolutely murdered. So you can see a little bit. We were going to get a perma-fire there and get some damage there. Now we know that that other destroyer has made his way over here. And again, Leon was already thinking how I was. Alright. This guy, even though we're like running into each other and that's not perfect destroyer play, the fact that we thought this much alike was hilarious to me. And I kind of wanted to show it off just because of that anyway, because it's kind of a funny match. We know he's out there. We're spreading out a little bit, so we don't run into each other again. But again, like I said, can't say enough credit about this Leon player. Really, really good teammate. And we absolutely, between me and him, we kind of wreak a lot of havoc. So we've already gotten rid of the first destroyer. We helped get rid of the battleship, and there is a stored, which you guys will see in an upcoming video. But we're going to go ahead and start shooting. Now, there isn't as many people over here now to shoot us, so we know it's stored in that battleship back there. So we're going to try to do our best to help, and you can see these longer. This is 7 kilometers, and it feels like I'm trying to lob islands right now with these shells. But they are very good shells once you get used to their firing arc, and we are going to go ahead and you can see we've been changing our speed this whole time while he's been shooting at us, trying to dodge and weave, and we're going to go dark here. There's no point in him getting free shots at us, and I know I have support, as you're going to see here. I'm going to look over in a second, and you're going to see Leon, again, thinking similar to him. We're going to trap him. He's got nowhere to go. You can see where Leon is. You can see where he is. This guy has nowhere to go, and I feel bad for him. So we're going to throw torpedoes into the smoke just in case he's right over there. And you're going to see my assessment of where them torps should go. We're about perfect, actually. And again, we know Leon's right there. He's going to get spotted. We're going to go ahead and we are going to help him. So that Leon, way to go, man. I couldn't be more pumped. I don't ever play in divisions on standard, but that probably felt about as close as a division to me was, because that guy was on the same page as me and Reem we did some good things. Now, could I have went dark here? Yes. But I know I can do this. I can actually win this fight. Why is that? I have a significant amount of help. Also, I could smoke up if it's going bad for me at any time. As you can see, I do have smoke. And we are just going to go ahead. We can see we did get him, or we're going to try to get him to damage con here. And you can see we're doing full pins to a battleship, right? That is really handy. And you can see we make a turn. We wait to do that till his guns can't keep up with the turret speed of turning around. And we wait a second and see if he's turning. He clearly was turning to the right, so we're going to throw them torps out. You can see how little damage them torps do, guys. That's why I would not rely on your torpedoes. That being said, we have them on a flood now, and we're going to go ahead and try to burn them out. So, at this point here, you can see A cap is being taken. This is about the time I noticed A cap was being taken. Leon is already on top of it. And also, we have a smoke here and spotting. Now, I cannot get into a position to help Leon because that destroyer is probably going to be going to B cap next. I understand that, so we're going to actually just go here and sit and work on Bayern. And you can see this is the one thing where you can kind of see where you can farm a little bit. Now, this is a pretty quick match. As you can see, it's already getting over pretty quick. But that being said, you can see we went from like 10,000 damage off of the 2 destroyers, and pretty quickly we're making a significant amount of damage here. Now he is out a little bit farther, so it's a little harder to aim. You can see I'm adjusting my aim. You're going to start to see we're going to get a few more shells. But again, once you see me get the right aim, you can see we start not shattering. You know, it's a German battleship. They can have a little bit of armor everywhere on top, same with the Russians, but you're going to see we're going to go ahead and just sit in our smoke and enjoy shooting at a battleship. And I feel bad for this battleship, but you know, I've been there before. And also, it's a German battleship, okay? He's not going to hit me. That's why I'm not moving. Even if he guesses where I'm at, which you can see he's been trying to do, he's not going to hit me. And I felt bad for him because this guy was doing everything he could to get rid of me. It just was not in his cards. And it wasn't because of his talent. He was aiming to the correct spots, but he had German dispersion. You see, he actually disabled my rudder there for a second. Now you can see we're pretty close. We're going to send out torps. And we're just going to go ahead and finish him off. And we're going to be careful in the process of doing so. As you can see here, this match is basically over now. A quick match, but again, you can showcase, you can see the strengths and the weaknesses of the ship, the lobby shells, but the is very good at hunting other destroyers, and how to use it with your smoke when you get the opportunity, but don't make it a priority, right? Spot for your team, worry about getting rid of other destroyers and cap control. Then afterward, if you want to have some fun and get some damage, go for it. But anyways, you can see our teammate top of the leaderboard really helped us out too. We helped our team out as well. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time, folks. Have a good one.